I have found, in my experience, that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out to where it is, it'll usually come back to where you are. This means that the secret to lasting wealth isn't just about chasing money. It's about growing yourself to a level where wealth naturally follows. So today, we will learn why personal growth is the foundation of wealth. We'll explore how to think like the rich, act with confidence, and win in your financial life every single day. If you're ready to break free from scarcity, build your wealth from the inside out, and create a life of abundance, your journey starts now. I believe one of the most overlooked secrets to building lasting wealth is understanding this simple truth. Knowledge compounds faster than money. You see, money has its power, no doubt about it. But money sitting idle, no matter how large the sum, won't multiply itself without action. Knowledge, on the other hand, grows exponentially when you nurture it consistently. When you feed your mind with new financial wisdom, it becomes a powerful engine that drives not just your income, but your entire approach to wealth. Think about it for a moment. A single dollar might grow by a few percentage points annually if invested wisely, but knowledge can transform that dollar into hundreds, thousands, or even millions over time because knowledge changes your decisions. It shapes your habits, your mindset, and ultimately the actions that create wealth. Without the right knowledge, you might find yourself working harder but never quite moving forward. But with it, you start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. In my own journey, I found that investing in myself through books, seminars, and conversations with those who had already succeeded was the single best investment I ever made. One book can open your eyes to ideas you never thought of. One webinar or seminar can inspire a breakthrough mindset or teach you a strategy that pays dividends for a lifetime. And it's not about rushing through a dozen books a month. It's about deep, consistent learning that you apply. The strategy is straightforward. Make learning a habit. Treat your financial education like you would any other recurring bill. Non-negotiable. Carve out time each month to read a personal finance book, listen to an educational podcast, or attend a workshop. This habit alone can reshape your future. I remember once dedicating just 30 minutes a day to reading financial principles. And within a year, my understanding of money, investing, and wealth grew so much that it changed my entire approach to business and personal finance. You don't need to be born into wealth to learn the rules. You just need to commit to the process. Each new idea you grasp builds on the last, compounding your ability to create wealth. It's like planting seeds in the garden. At first you see little progress, but over time, those seeds grow into a forest. So, here's your practical step. Commit to reading at least one personal finance book every month or attend a financial webinar. Choose books or programs that resonate with you and challenge your thinking. Make notes, apply what you learn, and revisit key concepts regularly. This investment in yourself will yield returns far beyond the price of the book or seminar. Remember, money can be lost, but the knowledge you acquire can never be taken away from you. It will serve you in good times and bad. As you build your wealth, never neglect the power of education. Make it the foundation on which every financial decision rests, and watch how your money begins to work for you in ways you never imagined. The journey to wealth begins in the mind. Feed it well, and the rest will follow. When it comes to building real, lasting financial freedom, many people are caught in the illusion that luck or some magic windfall will carry them to success. But the truth is far simpler and far more reliable. Financial freedom is not the result of luck. It is the product of discipline, day in and day out. It's a foundation you build brick by brick through consistent habits that guard your money and grow your resources. If you want to truly break free from financial struggles, you must embrace discipline as your most loyal ally. In my own life, I learned that no amount of good fortune could replace the power of steady, disciplined action. Early on, I saw people around me who dreamed of wealth but never practiced control over their spending. They hoped for raises or big breaks, but their habits kept them trapped. Meanwhile, those who succeeded, without exception, had mastered the art of saving first and spending second. This wasn't about being cheap or denying oneself joy, but about respecting the process and putting freedom before fleeting pleasures. The strategy is to build habits so strong that they become automatic, immune to the temptation of impulse. One of the most effective ways to do this is by automating your savings. Set up your bank accounts to automatically transfer a portion of your income into a separate savings or investment account as soon as your paycheck arrives. This simple step removes the daily battle between your desire to spend and your long-term goals. By paying yourself first, you protect your future without having to rely on willpower alone. I remember a young man who started with just a small amount set aside every month, never missing a transfer, even when times were tight. Years later, his small discipline had grown into a substantial nest egg. He told me, "The money I didn't see, I didn't miss." And that's exactly the mindset you want to develop. It's about creating an environment where your best financial choices happen naturally, not through struggle or sacrifice. Discipline also means learning to say no when necessary, cutting out non-essential expenses that erode your ability to save. Look at your spending honestly and decide what truly adds value to your life and what simply drains your resources. The ability to delay gratification and focus on your financial freedom will give you a power no luck ever could. Remember, the financial world is full of distractions promising instant wealth or get-rich-quick schemes. But these are illusions. True wealth grows quietly through habits, daily discipline, and wise decisions. The moment you start automating your savings and embracing financial discipline, you begin building an unshakable foundation for freedom, one that luck alone could never provide. The power is in your hands every payday. Decide now to pay yourself first, automate your savings, and watch your financial freedom grow steadily and surely. This is not luck, it's discipline turned into destiny. One of the most fundamental truths about building wealth is this: wealth grows in the space between your income and your spending. It's a simple idea, but it's often overlooked in the rush to earn more or to appear successful by upgrading lifestyle before the foundation is ready. Living below your means is not just a recommendation, it's a necessity if you want to create lasting financial freedom. I remember when I first began on my financial journey, I was surrounded by people who earned decent incomes but were always struggling. They had big cars, expensive clothes, and lavish dinners, but no savings to speak of. Meanwhile, others with modest earnings quietly built their net worth because they chose to live on less than they earned. The lesson here is clear. No matter how much money comes in, if you spend it all, you will never accumulate wealth. The philosophy is straightforward. By creating a gap between your earnings and your expenses, you give yourself room to save, invest, and grow your financial future. Without this gap, there's no margin for error, no emergency fund, no capital to put to work. When I look back, the people who built real wealth all shared this habit of conscious frugality. They weren't cheap, they were intentional. They understood that every dollar saved is a soldier sent out to build their empire. The strategy is to prioritize your spending and cut back on anything that doesn't serve your long-term goals. This means reviewing your expenses regularly and asking tough questions. Do I really need this subscription? Can I find a better deal on my utilities? Is eating out worth sacrificing my investment contributions? These small savings added up consistently, become the fuel that powers your wealth engine. A practical step you can take right now is to review your budget with honesty and identify at least one expense you can reduce or eliminate this month. Redirect that money into savings or investments. The key is to do this before your income increases. Too often, people fall into the lifestyle trap. They earn more and immediately spend more, leaving no room to grow their wealth. Instead, fix your spending habits at your current income level, and when your earnings rise, your savings and investments rise with them. Living below your means is not about deprivation. It's about discipline, patience, and a clear vision of the freedom that comes from financial control. By building this habit, you create the space where wealth naturally grows. And that space is where your financial future is born. The secret is to make this your lifestyle long before the money flows freely. Remember, wealth is not what you make, but what you keep. Live below your means, and you'll never worry about how much you earn. That's the path to lasting financial security and true freedom. In the journey toward building wealth, one principle stands taller than most: prioritizing income-generating activities. The truth is, time is the most precious resource we have, and how we spend it determines not only our financial success, but our overall quality of life. It's not about how busy you are, but how productive you are with your time, especially when it comes to activities that directly increase your income or build your wealth. Think about it this way. Many people spend hours each day caught in a whirlwind of tasks, answering emails, attending meetings, putting out fires, that keep them busy but don't actually move the needle on their finances. I've seen countless individuals trapped in this cycle of busyness, working harder and longer but never truly getting ahead. The key difference between those who remain stuck and those who rise is a deliberate focus on what truly generates income. The philosophy behind this is simple but powerful. Your income is directly tied to your ability to perform value-creating work. If you spend most of your time on low-value or routine tasks, your income potential remains limited. Conversely, by investing your time in activities that increase your skills, expand your network, or create assets, you open doors to new streams of revenue and growth. The strategy is to identify the few tasks each day that have the highest potential to increase your income and dedicate the majority of your time to these. It means saying no to distractions and low-impact chores that, while they may seem urgent, do little to improve your financial situation. This approach is about working smarter, not harder. A practical step is to list your daily activities and categorize them by how much income or value they generate. Then, prioritize your schedule so that 80% of your time is spent on the top 20% of activities, the ones that truly move you forward. This could be making sales calls, developing a new skill, working on a business idea, or improving a product. The rest of the tasks, though necessary, should be minimized, delegated, or scheduled for later. From my own experience, early in my career, I learned this the hard way. I used to spend hours doing administrative work that could have been outsourced while neglecting the opportunities that would have expanded my income streams. Once I shifted my focus to high-value activities like learning, networking, and creating systems, my income began to grow exponentially. This principle extends beyond jobs or businesses. Even if you're just starting out or rebuilding, focusing your energy on income-generating activities changes everything. It trains your mind to value productivity over mere effort, leading to better decisions and bigger rewards. Remember, time is your most valuable asset. How you invest it determines your financial destiny. Prioritize income-generating activities, and you won't just work, you'll build wealth. Life will test your financial discipline more in tough times than in times of plenty. It's easy to save and invest when the money flows freely, but true character is revealed when the purse strings tighten and the storms of uncertainty come crashing down. In those moments, the question isn't just about money, it's about who you are and who you're becoming. The philosophy here is clear. Tough times don't last, but disciplined people do. Financial discipline is not just a habit, it's a mindset. When you commit to saving, investing, and learning, even when resources are scarce, you build resilience that compounds like interest. That resilience becomes the foundation of your future freedom. It's in those lean moments that the seeds of your wealth are planted, watered by patience, and watered by faith in yourself. The strategy to maintain this discipline is to make saving and investing non-negotiable parts of your routine, regardless of how small the amount. Automate your savings so that the money is set aside before you even see it, and commit to lifelong learning as a means of expanding your mind and opportunity. Growth happens through knowledge, not just dollars. Tough times are not the signal to retreat. They're the invitation to push harder, smarter, and more focused. Let me share a practical step that has worked for many. When you face a financial squeeze, don't give up on saving altogether. Instead, scale down your contributions, but never stop. Even putting aside a small amount each month keeps you in the game and builds a habit of discipline. Continue to educate yourself about money through books, podcasts, or courses. Remember, the richest people often got there by outlasting the storms others ran from. I recall when the economy was rough, and I was just starting out with limited resources. I didn't have much to save, but I committed a tiny portion of what I earned to investments in education. Those tough years were foundational. They taught me to focus on what I could control, not what I couldn't. They shaped the financial discipline that later allowed me to seize bigger opportunities without fear. During tough times, your choices matter most. Will you panic and give up, or will you lean in and strengthen your discipline? It's a test of your financial character, and your response will write the story of your future. Hold fast, keep saving, keep learning, and keep believing. The path through adversity is the pathway to lasting wealth. Every setback holds within it the seed of a greater comeback, a truth that's as old as life itself. In financial matters, this principle rings just as true. I've seen many people, including myself at times, face moments when money slipped through their fingers, plans failed, or unexpected expenses knocked them off course. But the difference between those who rise and those who remain down lies in how they respond to these setbacks. Every financial setback is not a sign of defeat, but a setup for a comeback. It's a chance to learn, to pivot, and to come back stronger. You see, the first step in turning a setback into a comeback is to accept that failure is part of the journey. Nobody starts perfectly, and everyone experiences missteps. What separates those who build wealth from those who don't is their willingness to face mistakes honestly and use them as stepping stones. I remember a time early in my career when an investment I believed in lost significant value. At first, it felt like a blow, a financial hit that set me back months. But rather than wallow in regret, I chose to analyze what went wrong, what signs I missed, and how I could avoid such mistakes in the future. This leads to the strategy: learning from failures and adjusting your plan accordingly. It's not enough to just experience a setback. You must extract the lesson embedded within it. When your finances don't go as planned, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I change my approach? This mindset transforms mistakes into valuable information rather than crippling failures. A practical step I encourage is to journal your financial mistakes and lessons learned monthly. Take 10 or 15 minutes at the end of each month to write down where you slipped up, what caused it, and how you can improve. This simple habit builds awareness and accountability. It keeps you connected to your financial reality without denial or blame. Over time, this practice sharpens your decision-making and builds resilience. In my experience, journaling also helps to separate emotion from action. When you see your setbacks on paper, they become problems to solve rather than sources of anxiety. You start to view your financial journey as a learning process, not a final judgment on your ability or worth. Remember, setbacks are inevitable. Life is unpredictable, markets fluctuate, emergencies happen. But wealth is not built by avoiding failure. It's built by persistent, informed effort despite it. Each time you face a financial obstacle, remind yourself that it's a chance to come back smarter, stronger, and better equipped. That's the real power of financial setbacks. They prepare you for long-term success. So, as you move forward, embrace your setbacks as setups for comebacks. Be patient with yourself, commit to learning, and keep your eyes on the prize. The road to wealth isn't smooth, but it's always worth traveling. If you want to build real, lasting wealth, you must shift your focus from simply chasing income to creating value. There's a fundamental truth in life and in business. Money follows value. When you concentrate your energy on solving problems and serving others, wealth naturally finds its way to you. This is not just a feel-good platitude. It's a principle that has proven itself over centuries. You see, early in my journey, I learned that the richest people I admired weren't just focused on how much money they made. They were deeply committed to how much value they could bring into the world. Whether they were entrepreneurs, investors, or leaders, their attention was always on making life better for others, on filling a gap or meeting a need. This kind of mindset shift from how can I make money to how can I help is critical. The philosophy behind this is simple. Value creation is the heart of wealth. Income, on the other hand, is often limited by the hours you work or the specific role you fill. But when you create value, you tap into something far bigger. Your income can then grow without being limited by your time because you are solving problems, meeting needs, and improving lives. The strategy here is to direct your time, skills, and resources toward identifying the needs and challenges around you. Look closely at the people you serve, whether customers, clients, or your community, and ask, what problem can I solve? How can I make things easier, better, or faster? When you focus on this, your income becomes a natural byproduct of your contribution. On a practical level, start by investing time each week in brainstorming solutions to problems in your field or community. Think beyond your paycheck. Volunteer to take on challenges that stretch your abilities. Develop products, services, or ideas that genuinely help others. And always ask for feedback to improve your offering. I recall a young man I worked with who was struggling financially despite working long hours. When he shifted his mindset from, I need a raise, to how can I make my boss's job easier? And what can I do to improve our customer experience? His income doubled within a year. His focus on value created opportunities that income chasing alone never would. Remember, chasing money alone can lead you down a path of scarcity and frustration. But when you focus on creating value, on giving before receiving, you build a foundation of abundance. Wealth follows those who serve. So start today. Turn your thoughts away from just making money and turn them toward making a difference. Wealth will come as a natural reward. Let me tell you something I've come to realize over the years. Consistency will always outlast intensity. People often think that success, especially financial success, comes from some grand explosion of effort, a sudden windfall, a lucky break, or an extraordinary leap. But that's rarely how wealth is built. It's the steady, everyday habits that move the needle the most. I remember when I started out, I didn't have a lot of money, nor did I have some secret formula handed to me. What I had was a commitment to show up every day, to learn a little more, save a little more, invest a little more. Day by day, month by month, those small actions began to compound, just like interest piling up in a bank account. The magic wasn't in the size of each step, but in the regularity of my steps. You see, money habits are like planting seeds in a garden. If you water one seed once and forget it, you won't see much growth. But if you water a seed daily, give it sunlight and care, over time it sprouts, grows strong, and eventually bears fruit. Your daily saving or investing, even if it's just a small amount, is that watering. It might feel insignificant at first, but over time it becomes your wealth. Now, this principle works not just for money, but for everything important in life. I know people who spend hours working intensely for a week, only to burn out and stop altogether. I've seen others who do just a little every single day, no matter how tired or busy, and over years they transform their entire lives. The key is persistence and discipline. Here's what I want you to understand. The enemy of building wealth is inconsistency. You might save a large chunk one month and then spend recklessly the next, or invest heavily at one time and then freeze when the market dips. But the wealthy person, the one who truly builds lasting financial freedom, is the one who keeps saving and investing no matter what. They don't stop because the market is down or because life gets busy. They keep showing up day after day. To build this into your life, I suggest you start small. Commit to saving or investing something every day. It might be $1, $5, whatever you can manage. The amount is less important than the habit. Once this becomes automatic, you won't have to wrestle with the decision each day. You'll have created a rhythm. One thing I found helpful is to automate these transactions. Use technology to your advantage. Set up automatic transfers so your money moves without you even thinking about it. This removes the temptation to spend what you should be saving. Another part of consistency is tracking your progress. Keep a journal or use an app and celebrate small wins. When you see your savings account grow or watch your investments slowly increase in value, you'll be encouraged to keep going. Remember, it's those small, steady steps that create the foundation for financial freedom. Let me share a quick story from my own experience. Early in my journey, I worked many jobs, and money was tight. I started setting aside a little each week, even when it felt like I needed that money just to get by. I was consistent in my saving, even if the amounts were tiny. I learned a lot about money along the way, investing a little, learning a little. Over time, those small steps became a snowball. My financial situation improved not because of one big break, but because I consistently built on the little progress I made. So, as you think about your own financial journey, ask yourself this: am I consistent or am I intense and irregular? The difference between those two mindsets can change everything. You don't have to have a massive paycheck or a huge inheritance. What you do need is the commitment to do what you can every day, no matter how small. Financial freedom isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about showing up, saving a little, investing a little, learning a little. Day by day, these actions compound. Over time, they build the life you want, the freedom you deserve. Keep in mind, wealth is not a sprint, but a marathon. The people who win are not necessarily the fastest or the smartest, but the ones who refuse to quit. Your consistent efforts today are your best investment for tomorrow. So I urge you, start small, be consistent. Let your daily money habits be your greatest asset. Show up for your future every single day and watch how your life transforms. That is the path to lasting wealth. Let me share with you a truth that many people misunderstand. Frugality is not about living a life of sacrifice or deprivation. It's about being wise with your money, making choices that serve your long-term freedom rather than your short-term impulses. So many folks think frugality means saying no to everything enjoyable, but that's a misconception that keeps them stuck in scarcity. Real frugality is about finding joy in simplicity and making smart spending decisions that add value to your life. Early in my own journey, I faced the challenge of living on limited resources. At first, it felt like I was denying myself pleasure. No fancy dinners, no expensive toys, just bare essentials. But as I learned more about money, I realized that living frugally doesn't mean a dull life. It means a rich life lived with intention. It means choosing wisely what truly matters and trimming away waste. The philosophy here is simple. Money is a tool to create freedom, not an excuse to indulge in every whim. If you buy things that drain your resources without bringing you lasting satisfaction, you're simply spending energy, not building wealth. The wealthy understand that joy and fulfillment don't come from possessions, but from experiences, relationships, and personal growth. How do you embrace this mindset? First, start by evaluating your spending honestly. What purchases bring real value, and what are just habits or status symbols? It's okay to enjoy your money, but do so with awareness. You can find pleasure in a home-cooked meal with family just as much as in a costly restaurant if you approach it with gratitude and mindfulness. Next, focus on quality over quantity. A frugal person invests in durable, useful items rather than cheap goods that wear out quickly. This not only saves money over time, but also reduces stress and clutter. Think of frugality as an investment in peace of mind. Another practical step is to find creative ways to enjoy life without overspending. Go for walks in nature, host potlucks, or learn new skills that save money, like cooking or gardening. These activities enrich your life and build your financial health simultaneously. I recall when I shifted my thinking this way, I stopped feeling deprived and started feeling empowered. Frugality became a source of freedom, not a limitation. The more intentional I became with my spending, the more control I felt over my finances and my future. So remember this, frugality isn't about denial, it's about choosing wisely. It's about recognizing that true wealth comes from living richly within your means, appreciating what you have, and making every dollar work for your freedom. Live smart, spend wise, and find joy in the simple things. That's the secret to embracing frugality without deprivation and building lasting wealth in the process. Tracking your net worth is one of the most powerful habits you can develop on the journey to financial freedom. Many people focus solely on their income, how much money comes in every month, without paying attention to the bigger picture of their overall financial health. But income alone can be misleading. You might be earning a lot, yet if your debts, expenses, and liabilities grow faster than your assets, your financial position is actually weakening. That's why tracking net worth, the true measure of your wealth, is so crucial. Your net worth is simply the total value of everything you own minus what you owe. It's a snapshot of your financial standing at any given moment. When you start to measure it regularly, you gain clarity. You see what's working, what needs attention, and where your progress lies. This awareness is what keeps you motivated and focused on building lasting wealth, not just chasing bigger paychecks. I remember early in my own life, I didn't understand the importance of tracking net worth. I focused on my paycheck and thought that as long as my income grew, I was winning. But time taught me otherwise. I learned to list out all my assets, savings, investments, property, and subtract my debts, loans, credit cards, liabilities, That simple act revealed areas I needed to fix, like reducing unnecessary liabilities and investing more wisely. It gave me a clear target to aim for. The philosophy here is that what gets measured gets managed. If you don't know your net worth, you're navigating blind. Measuring your net worth regularly turns wealth building into a goal-driven, trackable process, not a guessing game. Practically, I encourage you to set a monthly or quarterly date. Make it a habit. Take time to update your list of assets and liabilities. Use tools, spreadsheets, or apps to help you visualize your progress. Watch for trends. Are your assets growing faster than your debts? Are you moving closer to your financial goals? Tracking your net worth also helps you make smarter decisions. When you see your liabilities creeping up, it's a warning sign to cut back or refinance. When your investments grow, it reinforces your discipline and strategy. This ongoing feedback loop is priceless. Remember, wealth isn't about how much you earn, but how much you keep and grow. Your net worth is the clearest reflection of that truth. Keep your eyes on it, and your steps will naturally align with lasting financial success. So take control today. Start tracking your net worth and watch your financial future transform before your eyes. There's a powerful truth that many people overlook when it comes to money. Your mindset shapes your financial destiny. Scarcity thinking, believing there's never enough, that opportunities are limited, or that the world is out to take what's yours, keeps you trapped in a cycle of lack and fear. But abundance thinking, on the other hand, opens the door to freedom, growth, and opportunity. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing that possibilities far outweigh limitations, and that there is always more to create and achieve. When I first began my journey, I saw how scarcity thinking could paralyze people. I remember hearing stories from friends who believed they'd never get ahead because the deck was stacked against them. They focused on what they didn't have: money, connections, luck, and convinced themselves they were destined to stay stuck. That mindset drained their energy and closed their eyes to opportunities. But then I saw others with less, starting from nothing, who thought differently. They chose to believe there was enough for everyone. They embraced the idea that every problem has a solution, every setback a lesson, and every day a chance to grow. Philosophically, abundance thinking is a recognition that life is generous. Wealth, success, and happiness are not limited resources to fight over, but renewable resources that expand when shared, invested, and pursued with the right attitude. It's the idea that your potential to create value and to attract value is limitless. The strategy is to intentionally shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on scarcity, start training your mind to look for possibilities. This means surrounding yourself with positive influences, consuming uplifting information, and changing the questions you ask yourself. Instead of, "Why can't I get ahead?" ask, "What can I do today to move closer to my financial goals?" Instead of, "I don't have enough money," think, "How can I better use what I do have?" One practical way to cultivate this mindset is through daily gratitude. Each morning or evening, take a moment to acknowledge what you already have. The skills, the people, the resources, the small wins. Gratitude rewires your brain to see abundance. It reduces fear and anxiety, freeing mental space for creative ideas and action. Alongside gratitude, envision your financial future with clarity and confidence. Picture the freedom, the peace, and the opportunities that come with financial security. Hold that vision firmly in your mind and let it inspire your daily decisions and habits. When you practice gratitude and envision abundance, you break free from the shackles of scarcity thinking. You start to attract new opportunities, make wiser choices, and build momentum. Remember, Scarcity is a prison of the mind, but abundance is the key to unlock your potential and create a life of wealth and freedom. Begin today by shifting your focus. Embrace gratitude, envision your financial future, and watch how your mindset transforms your reality. When I first began my journey, I quickly realized that clarity isn't just some abstract idea. It's the very foundation upon which all financial success is built. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant and nurture will grow. If you scatter your seeds, your focus, your goals haphazardly, then your garden becomes a tangled mess of weeds and wildflowers. But if you carefully plant the seeds of clear, specific financial goals and tend to them daily, you'll harvest a bountiful crop. The power lies not just in setting goals, but in truly seeing them, feeling them, and allowing them to shape every decision you make. Philosophically, clarity transforms your relationship with money. It shifts you from wandering aimlessly in a fog of confusion to walking a well-lit path. When you're clear about your financial goals, you connect them deeply to your values and vision for your life. Money then becomes a tool, a means to an end, not an end in itself. For example, do you want financial independence so you can spend more time with loved ones, travel the world, or leave a legacy? Knowing your why injects passion and purpose into your pursuit. Strategy-wise, this clarity demands action in two forms: writing down your goals and visualizing them. The act of writing crystallizes your intentions. When you commit a goal to paper, it becomes more than a fleeting thought. It becomes a contract with yourself. Years ago, I set a simple goal: to save a specific amount within a year. Writing it down forced me to break it into manageable steps and keep track. It was the difference between wishing and doing. Visualization is the next step. It's one thing to know your goals intellectually. It's another to experience them emotionally and mentally every day. By picturing yourself living your dreams, feeling the freedom of financial security or the joy of giving generously, you program your subconscious mind to work relentlessly on your behalf. This daily mental rehearsal aligns your actions with your goals, making you more alert to opportunities and more resilient to setbacks. From personal experience, this practice made all the difference. During times of doubt or difficulty, that clear picture kept me moving forward. I would remind myself of the vision, the home I wanted to provide my family, the freedom to live life on my terms. Those vivid images kept me consistent and focused. Practically speaking, I encourage you to create a vision board or financial journal. Fill it with specific targets, 1 year, 5 year, and 10-year financial milestones, and pair them with images and affirmations that speak to your deepest desires. Place this where you see it every morning. Use it as a daily touchstone. This simple ritual conditions your mind and heart to stay committed. Keep in mind that clarity is a living thing. As you grow, your vision will evolve. Revisit and refine your goals regularly. Celebrate milestones and adjust your path as necessary. This process turns your financial dreams from vague wishes into tangible, achievable realities. Ultimately, clarity fuels focus. It's the compass that guides your financial ship through stormy seas. When you see clearly where you're headed, every decision, every sacrifice, every small win accumulates toward the destination you desire. So, take the time to write down your financial goals, visualize them daily, and let that clarity be the engine that drives your wealth-building journey forward. I remember early in my journey, when I relied solely on my paycheck, I felt a constant tension, like walking a tightrope without a safety net. One missed paycheck, one unexpected expense, and everything could come crashing down. That's the trap many fall into, dependence on a single source of income. But the reality is, wealth and true financial security come from building multiple streams of income. It's not just about having more money. It's about creating resilience, flexibility, and freedom. Philosophically, relying on one paycheck is like putting all your eggs in one basket. It leaves you vulnerable, tied to circumstances beyond your control. Economic shifts, job changes, or personal setbacks can abruptly end that steady flow, leaving you scrambling. But when you cultivate multiple income streams, you're planting seeds in different gardens. If one crop fails, others thrive. This diversification isn't just financial, it's emotional and mental security. It frees you from the fear of losing it all. The strategy here is to identify and develop income sources beyond your primary job. This might include investing in rental properties, starting a side business, creating digital products, or earning royalties. The key is to focus on income streams that eventually become passive or semi-passive, ones that don't require you to trade more hours for dollars endlessly. Personally, I began this process by starting small side ventures alongside my main job. At first, it was just a few hours a week, investing in books, seminars, and small businesses. Over time, those small streams grew. One rental property, a partnership in a business, some dividend-paying stocks. They all added layers of security. The confidence that came from knowing I wasn't dependent on a single paycheck was liberating. It changed my mindset from scarcity to abundance. Practical steps are straightforward but require discipline and persistence. Start by listing all your current income sources. Next, brainstorm potential ways to add new ones aligned with your skills and interests. Pick one and commit to developing it gradually. Remember, these streams don't have to be enormous immediately. Even small, consistent income additions create momentum. Automate and systematize where possible. For example, setting up dividend reinvestment plans or outsourcing parts of a side business can free your time while the income flows in. Reinvest earnings from new streams into growing more income sources. The goal is to build a network of financial engines working together. Keep your main job as a foundation, but don't treat it as your only path. Protect your time by focusing on the highest value income activities and delegating or eliminating distractions. Diversification is about smart allocation of your energy and resources. In summary, depending on one paycheck keeps you stuck in financial vulnerability. But building multiple streams of income creates a fortress of wealth and security. It's a mindset shift and a practical strategy rolled into one. Commit to expanding your income sources, and you'll step onto a path where money works for you, not the other way around. That's the true essence of financial freedom. I've often said that failure is not the enemy of success. It's a part of it. Life's greatest lessons are wrapped up in the experiences we call setbacks. The moment you realize that failure is a stepping stone, not a stumbling block, your entire approach to wealth shifts. Resilience becomes the secret weapon in your financial journey. Philosophically, failure doesn't mean you are defeated. It means you are in motion, pushing boundaries, and trying. Every wealthy person you admire has faced failure. They didn't avoid it, they learned from it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond when things go wrong. Resilience, the ability to recover quickly and keep moving forward, is the true test of character and a key to building lasting wealth. The strategy here is to view every financial setback as an opportunity for growth. When you face a loss or a bad decision, don't bury your head in the sand or blame outside circumstances. Instead, pause and ask yourself, what did this teach me? What could I do differently next time? What habits or beliefs led me here? This mindset transforms problems into powerful lessons that sharpen your financial wisdom. I remember early on, I made poor investment choices that cost me dearly. At first I was discouraged, but then I decided to treat those experiences as my greatest teachers. I wrote down what went wrong: lack of research, impatience, overconfidence, and committed to changing those patterns. Each mistake became a chapter in my personal financial education, and over time, my decisions improved dramatically. The practical step is simple but profound. Take some time regularly, perhaps monthly or quarterly, to reflect on your financial journey. Write down any setbacks you encountered, then list at least 3 lessons learned from each. This exercise builds awareness, accountability, and resilience. It helps you avoid repeating the same errors and builds confidence to face new challenges. Remember, resilience isn't about avoiding failure, it's about bouncing back stronger every time. Your setbacks don't define you, your response does. When you embrace failure as part of success, you remove fear and hesitation. You become willing to take calculated risks, learn, and grow. That willingness will propel you from scarcity to abundance. In the end, wealth isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about your ability to persist, adapt, and improve through life's inevitable ups and downs. Cultivate resilience, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. Success is not a straight line, but the journey of those who refuse to quit. I want you to understand something deeply. Comparison is the thief of joy, and often the enemy of financial progress. When it comes to building wealth, falling into the trap of comparing your journey to someone else's can be devastating. It steals your focus, drains your energy, and blinds you from the real work you need to do. Remember, wealth is personal. Your path, your timing, and your progress are unique to you. Philosophically, comparison keeps you stuck in scarcity thinking. You look at someone else's car, house, or bank balance and feel less than. This feeling creates unnecessary pressure, impatience, and even risky financial decisions to keep up. It's a mindset that tells you what you have isn't enough, that your efforts don't measure up. But wealth is not a competition. It's a personal journey of growth and freedom. The only person you should measure yourself against is the person you were yesterday. The strategy here is to cultivate a mindset that values your own progress. Focus on your financial goals and celebrate every small victory, whether it's saving a certain amount, paying off a debt, or learning a new skill. Track your own net worth and watch it grow over time without obsessing over what others are doing. Remember, the social media highlight reels don't show the hard work, sacrifices, or setbacks behind the scenes. I've seen people chase after a lifestyle they can't afford just to impress others, only to end up deeper in debt and stress. I learned early that true wealth comes from living within your means and building assets quietly and steadily. You don't need to prove your success to anyone but yourself. Focus on improving your financial habits daily, and your wealth will reflect that discipline. A practical step to avoid the comparison trap is to limit your exposure to sources that trigger envy or self-doubt. If social media feeds your feelings of inadequacy, set boundaries on your time there. Instead, spend that time reading books, listening to educational podcasts, or working on your money plan. Surround yourself with mentors and friends who inspire growth rather than competition. Lastly, keep a gratitude journal focused on your financial journey. Every day, write down what you've accomplished and what you're thankful for. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, reinforcing the belief that your journey is valuable and worth celebrating. Remember, your wealth journey is not about matching someone else's highlight reel, but about becoming the best version of yourself financially. When you stop comparing and start focusing on your own growth, you build not just wealth, but peace of mind. Stay true to your path and keep moving forward. Gratitude is more than just a polite habit. It's a powerful force that shapes your financial reality. When you practice gratitude daily, You align your mind with abundance rather than lack. And that simple shift changes everything. It keeps you grounded, focused, and open to opportunities that others miss because they're trapped in scarcity thinking. Philosophically, gratitude rewires your brain to notice what you have rather than what you don't. It trains you to appreciate the income you earn, the progress you've made, and the resources available to you, no matter how small they may seem. This mindset breeds contentment, reduces financial stress, and fuels motivation to build even more. A grateful heart is a magnet for more blessings because it attracts positivity and abundance. The strategy is simple but profound. Make gratitude a daily financial practice. Don't wait until you have $1 million to be thankful. Start by recognizing and appreciating the little wins, like paying a bill on time, saving a few dollars, or gaining a new financial insight. Each small acknowledgement strengthens your relationship with money as a tool that serves you, not a source of anxiety. In my own journey, I've found that when I take time every morning to reflect on what I'm thankful for financially, I'm more disciplined and intentional throughout the day. Gratitude reminds me that wealth is about more than just numbers. It's about freedom, opportunities, and the ability to make a positive impact. A practical step to develop this habit is to keep a gratitude journal specifically for your finances. Each day, write down 3 things related to your money situation that you appreciate. It could be a paycheck, a client's trust, or even the lesson learned from a financial mistake. This daily exercise keeps your mind focused on abundance and prepares you to receive more. Remember, the law of attraction isn't a mystery, it's a mindset. The more you appreciate what you have, the more you position yourself to receive what you want. Practice gratitude daily and watch how your financial life transforms. Keep your heart open and wealth will follow. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want you to remember this. Wealth is not merely about the numbers in your bank account. It is the result of the mindset you cultivate, the habits you build, and the actions you take consistently over time. Financial success begins in your mind, with your beliefs, your clarity, and your discipline. It is forged through patience, persistence, and a refusal to accept scarcity as your permanent state. You have learned today that true wealth is built step by step. It starts with auditing your current finances, honestly, setting clear and written goals, and investing in your own financial education relentlessly. It grows when you commit to living below your means, prioritizing income-generating activities, and saving with discipline, even during tough times. You learn that failures are not dead ends, but stepping stones to greater success, and that gratitude is the quiet force that transforms your relationship with money. Now, the most important part is what you do next. Ideas without action remain dreams. I challenge you to take what you've learned and put it into practice immediately. Start your financial audit today. Write down your goals tonight. Open that savings or investment account this week. Make a daily habit of learning something new about money. Make a commitment to yourself to break free from scarcity thinking and build a life of abundance. Your journey to wealth starts now. Take that first step.